bien, Gooners. It's the loose cannon, number 55. I've even got fans cheering in the background. I mean, that came quite unexpected to me. What's not as unexpected is the possible arrival of a certain footballer, ex-footballer, well, part-time footballer. He might have got paid at some point in his life for playing football. He certainly got paid for something. Alan Gibson!
Hello, Gooners! Oh, sorry, I was just having a break over there.
Oh, wow. So hopefully he got paid for that as well. And this is a European Champions League special because we've got 4 pots. 4 pots. That's one of the pots. And in that pot are 8 teams. And these are the 8 teams. I'm going to bring this right close up to the camera so you can see. Look at that. I mean, what sort of guy can write that small?
No expense spared, eh?
Yeah, no. And don't look at the transfer news beneath because we'll talk about that afterwards. But there you can see pot 1, Barcelona, Manchester United, Chelsea, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Arsenal, Porto and AC Milan. Pot 2. These are the teams that we could be facing. Valencia.
Ben and Shaq sounds like a bloody...
Who's Ben? Who's Ben? Anyway?
Benfica.
Yeah, Benfica. Shakhtar Donestk. Love Shaq. No, we're not going to sing because we could get copyright problems. Zenit, St. Petersburg. Our old friend Andre Arshavin used to play for them. Perhaps will again. Schalke 04.
Uchida.
And then there's Braga of Portugal. Manchester City, we won't be playing them. And Dinamo Kiev. And in pot 3, we've got Oli.
Oli, Oli, Oli.
Olympiacos, Ajax, Anderlecht, Juventus, Spartak Moscow, Paris Saint-Germain, Lille and Galatasaray. Not the swimming gala. And in pot 4 we've got Celtic, Borussia Dortmund, BATE. That's a tricky one and it means it's something else to that. I can't even remember it. Dinamo Zagreb, Cluj, Montpellier, Malaga and this is the one that's tricky to pronounce. North Yaland.
North Yaland.
They are from which country? It's a little test for you now.
Er du norsk? Jeg kan snakke litt norsk.
I can snakke
Oh, you shouldn't say that, really.
Oh, you're swearing now. I don't like it.
Better go and have a break.
That's not a very good Danish accent, by the way. I've given the game away.
They're from Denmark.
Yeah.
I thought they were from Norge.
Danes are great. I love Danish people. I had a great time in Copenhagen, but I'm getting, I'm sort of getting beyond myself now, going back in time, and I shouldn't. But what do you think? Of those teams in pot 4, who would be the team you'd most like to face? And
well, I guess
no pun on face, because
I tell you what, Cluj are doing pretty well right now. So
are they? What are they doing?
Borussia Dortmund, maybe they're the team that have been taken to pieces. Yeah, they've lost Kagawa, for example.
Yeah. Did you know Cluj are in a certain region of Romania that's very scary?
Exactly, it's very scary.
In Transylvania, so we don't want to go there. And also, I noticed there's a slight sort of macabre feel about BATE, Borisov. Reminded me of Boris Karloff, so it sounds like Frankenstein country. I know, I'm a bit weird. This from Belarus. And we've got connections. Arsenal got connections with Belarus. That is the very country Alex Hleb came from.
To be honest, I think Celtic would be the easy one because we can all go up there and watch them, can't we? Well, we can't because I'm in Japan, but you guys in London and wherever else in the world.
So you really think a Battle of Britain would be a good idea?
I think it would be wonderful. They've raised themselves. Who
would raise themselves?
Arsenal, Walcott, and all these other guys.
Might not be there.
Walcott might not be there. Van Persie, he's gone as well. Yeah. Is anybody left there?
No, but Theo may well stay. That's the latest on that.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd fancy a Battle of Britain, but because as the old cliches go, there ain't no easy games anymore either. So you travel all the way to Transylvania or something.
Yeah, well, Transylvania that doesn't really tickle my fancy, and you'd be like doing a diary, wouldn't you, if you went there? And that's how Bram Stoker came up with that great book. But what about this North Yearland? Would you fancy some of that? They are from New Zealand. It's not New Zealand, North Zealand.
I think, yeah.
They're an unknown quantity.
It's probably the best bet, to be honest. And
they're semi-local.
They're the semi-local. Denmark's not that far away, is it? Eh?
I'll tell you my one, Malaga. I think the boys...
yeah, you can imagine the Arsenal boys down in Malaga.
They don't do that anymore. Paul Merson left ages ago.
I'm talking about the fans, not the players.
Oh, sorry.
We don't care about the players. They can go wherever they want to, but the fans get a chance to watch them in Spain or something, right?
But Malaga are weakened, don't they? Because they've given us their best player, Santi Cazorla. He's gone. And there's, what's the other guy? Isco's on the way. Possibly not to Arsenal, but But they're asset stripping their squad, so surely they're not as good as they were, and it's the first season for them, I believe, in the Champions League. So I'm assuming they're not going to be the strongest team, and it's just down the road. It's just a couple of hours, easy, Jack.
And Andy Carroll will have a great time against their defence. Oh, he hasn't signed for us.
He hasn't signed just yet, but yeah, we're coming to that later. So
want a banana?
I don't want a banana, thanks. And Andy Carroll would be nice. Yes, I
likes
might
bananas.
be. I think I'm in a minority even saying that, because a lot of Arsenal fans wouldn't like to see Andy Carroll join. Can you think of a good reason why he shouldn't join Arsenal?
Well, I tell you what, everybody says, oh, well, like Liverpool, for example, they say, Andy Carroll plays and they lump up a long ball to him. When he played for England, the big Joe Hart to Andy Carroll for 20 minutes was the best passing ratio. Well, Andy Carroll, when he played at Newcastle and was sort of given a bit of a free rein, spent half the time pulling back and playing on the edge of his own defence, on the edge of the area, making tackles and
so he offers something
creating. He's a great player.
Well.
It's just maybe his mind's like it or something. Maybe he's.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
He might be a bit wayward off the park, perhaps. So, anyone else appeal to you? What would be the nightmare draw from pot 4? Which is the worst? I mean, I'll put down Borussia Dortmund would be the team I'd least like Arsenal to draw.
Yeah,
I know it's
quite
close.
Dortmund or Cluj, because Cluj are, apart from the long trip as well, they're not bad right now.
Really?
Not a bad team. I think they're top of the league again right now.
No, well, I don't like
Think they are?
And what about Montpellier?
Montpellier?
Because they lost obviously Olivier Giroud and then Mville. Who's the other player? There's another player going to leave. Not Mville. He's Rennes. There's another player about to leave Montpellier.
Well,
and he's been heavily linked with Arsenal as well. So looks like they're asset stripping as well. So that might be another team to possibly play against. Because again, down the road, and Arsene Wenger knows the lingo. He can walk into any place and find out. He's probably got loads of scouting reports on Montpellier. So
and he can order room service as well.
Yeah, and he could certainly do that. So looking at pot 3 then, who is the team that Arsenal should hope to pick out?
Pot 3?
From that lot.
For Galatasaray, but it's always a tough one to go to there.
You're saying they should pick out Galatasaray? That would be the dream draw, would it?
Yeah, that don't seem very good, right?
Yeah,
of course, we don't want
you don't want
Ajax.
to go there, you know.
Anderlecht, Belgian football's growing, although it's being stripped of all the decent players. Spartak, we don't want to go to Moscow, do we? PSG?
No way.
PSG, they haven't started well, have they? They've got all the players, but they haven't got a team yet, have they?
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to be playing against all those.
So Lille it is then.
Lille.
Yeah, Lille. Hello, Lille.
You just picked it because of the name.
No, Lille, because they're not very good. Well, compared to Arsenal.
Yeah, but PSG, what about Anderlecht? Anderlecht are not great.
No,
They've got a nice kit. They're playing purple, a bit like Kyoto Senga. If anyone wants to buy this, 50 quid. No, say 60. It's gone up. 60 quid, it's well worth it. It's cotton though.
I'll give you 49.
I'll consider it. So anyway, back to Anderlecht. You think Anderlecht are stronger or weaker than Lille? You're saying they're weaker, right?
It depends if literally in the next day or two.
Yeah.
If Anderlecht lose any more players.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So who knows? Can you ask me that question in 2 days?
Yeah, let's do that. And what about pot 2? We've got my mate Ben, Benfica, Valencia, Shakhtar, Zenit. I mean, I'm looking at pot 2. Pot 2 and pot 3, I thought both pots were equally difficult to me. I picked out Braga as the weakest team. Would you disagree with that?
Braga. For Arsenal fans, I'd like you to play against Schalke so you can get to see Uchida, Japanese right back, playing.
Oh, good call.
But and actually, Schalke.
And how good are Schalke?
I mean, they've lost Raul, 38-year-old plastic guy to some anyway. So Zenit, you don't want to go there, do we? Shakhtar, they're a bit tough. Benfica, no, thank you. Valencia, another Spanish team. No, they wouldn't put 2 Spanish teams in the same draw, in the same group, would they? Actually?
Well, wait a minute. No, they wouldn't. But I mean, my dream draw is this, right? Braga of Portugal, Anderlecht of Belgium, Malaga of Spain. That's my dream draw. My nightmare draw, and tell me if I'm wrong. Valencia would be a nightmare. Paris Saint-Germain would be a nightmare, as would Borussia. I mean, Dortmund. Yeah, Dortmund would be. That would be a nightmare draw. They're not long trips. But I just wouldn't fancy it, and I wouldn't fancy Celtic and Galatasaray. That's Chelsea.
And who's this MC?
We're not interested in them.
No, we don't care.
Who's MC? Oh, that's Man City.
Never heard.
So we can't play them. Luckily.
Exactly.
We definitely don't want to play them. So whoever it is, it's going to be easier than a Premier League match, pretty much.
Shall we predict the draw? Shall we predict the draw?
You're all right. If you
it's total luck now, isn't it?
All right, go on, predict the draw then.
Arsenal in pot 1.
Right.
You got that right. Then.
Okay. That's all we've got to say.
Shakhtar Donestk.
Shakhtar. Okay.
Anderlecht.
Yes. And
Celtic.
One more. That's what you're going to predict.
That's my prediction. And
based on what? Just a gut feel, is it?
No, just based on absolutely nothing except looking down at your highly expensive.
Oh, look at that! I spent a fortune on that, and I spent a lot of time writing very small because you said I couldn't do it, and I've just proved it's possible. Anything's possible.
There you go.
And okay, just for the hell of it, I'll predict. We're going to play against BATE, Borisov. No Boris Karloff invited. No Frankenstein monsters coming along to that one. And then we're going to have, let's say, Oli, Olympiacos. And pot 2, who we're going to have? We're going to have Schalke. That's just off the top of my head. I didn't think about it at all. But anyway, bit of fun. This magazine's a bit of fun as well, right? That's a tenuous link that kind of works.
We do have the Arsenal connection there, Freddie, issue 2.
Talking of one of the teams that you mentioned, Shakhtar Donetsk, they've got a player there called Dentinho, nothing to do with teeth or dental floss, but he's on the way for 8.5 million euros to Arsenal, according to some reports. He's got an agent who goes by the name of Ben Thorne.
Thorne?
Not Benfica Thorne, but Ben Thorne.
He used to play for Wimbledon.
I'm not too sure, but he represents a number of Chelsea players, David Luiz being one of them, Oscar,
frozen up.
And Lucas Piazon being the other player he represents. So
he's got away with the translation. He loves translation.
There's been a lot of talk about Shakhtar Donetsk players moving on, so I'm starting to think maybe they're the team to draw out of pot 2, because I think a number of their players have been linked with Spurs. I mean, the guy is coming out officially as well. The guy's saying. Daniel Levy came over to look at one of my players, but he also mentioned this guy and this guy and this guy. I mean, it seems like they're all for sale.
So what else are we going to talk about then?
Apart from that, Andy Carroll, we've talked about that already. Clint Dempsey, we've talked about that in the previous podcast. Gregory van der Wiel. Now you can talk about that. He's a right back, plays for Ajax, didn't do too well with Holland. Who did well?
I thought he was a detective.
And he might be a detective.
Belgian detective, Van der Wiel.
Richard Law, who helps in some of the deals and negotiations. So I'm not quite sure. I think he's a minister without portfolio. And he's got a little rattle.
Oh, he's got a little rattle, hasn't he?
I don't know what
Enough of that python.
All right. Well, he's also called Dick Law. A lot of fans call him that. But anyway, Richard Law, who also goes by the name of Dick, and it's nothing to do with me. You check on the internet. He has said the following. He said, I cannot confirm or deny.
Oh dear. I guess he's on the way then.
Yeah. About Gregory van der Wiel.
You know, it's very close to deadline day already.
Yeah, I know. We're edging ever closer.
And it's morning in England right now.
If this were deadline day, say your head was deadline day and this was a player, it might actually make contact.
I'm thinking that, you'll be talking about some of the rubbish in a minute, and I'll have a quick look and see if anybody's signed in the last few minutes.
All right. So you say I've got more rubbish to talk about. I haven't. I've sort of run out at this point. Apart from, I've got a couple of things I've got to mention. Thanks for the cheering. There was only 20 shares traded yesterday, not 40. My source, it's not really strictly my source, but you can blame Angry of Islington for that. I really love the website, but anyway, his information was there was 40 shares traded. It turned out it was only 20. Alicia Usmanov clearly hasn't got as many shares as some of us thought. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'm not too sure, to be quite honest with you. I just want money to be spent on players as opposed to whatever it goes to in the boardroom. What else has been going on?
Berbatov's going to Fulham.
Is that a definite?
No.
Right. Berbatov, yeah, I heard that story already. Did I hear that story? Yes, I did. And because I assumed he liked London more than the prospect of going to the Mediterranean. Because there was a number of Italian clubs interested, I understand.
And it seems
quite
that
what that's got to do with Barcelona.
Lennon is already at Celtic apparently. Oh, that's Neil, not Aaron. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Not John Lennon. I thought he was. No, never mind.
You didn't hear anything about the next gen, did you? Next generation. The next gen. It's the abbreviation. The under-19s.
No.
It's like an under-19s Champions League. Do you think that's a great thing for football? Arsenal beat Marseille 3-0, thanks to goals from
I'm not
Linares.
sure what's going on down there. This under-21 business and under-19 and next gen, and just play football. But talking of the under-19s, Japan against Korea kicks off in 1 hour in the under-20 Women's World Cup, Japan 2012. Japan, of course, ladies are champions of the world and silver medalists, so they should have beat the Americans in the Olympic medals there.
Did that make that Call in the Game even, that Call in the Game song even more popular? Yes, it's ladies. No. Oh, we're not allowed to sing. No singing. Oh. No singing. And you cut me off. I was saying goals from Linares and Akpom. Put pay to not Montpellier, it was Marseille.
It's definitely good for the future of the English game with players like that scoring all the goals.
Linares, very English name. He's a good player though. He's played for the first team. Akpom, not bad. I've seen him as well.
Is he Thai or Indonesian?
I think he's about 17 years old, but that's nothing to do with what he wears around his neck.
Nothing.
Anyway, there's a guy, a very sort of famous Arsenal blogger who's been in the game a long time by the name of Miles Palmer. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he reckons he's going to go through the Arsenal squad with a machete. Do you think it's necessary to be so bloodthirsty with this squad?
Have you seen Grindhouse? What a great movie that is, actually.
But do you think are there any players in this current Arsenal squad that you feel deserve a machete?
I think Song should be let go. Van Persie can go.
Okay, you're making this podcast sound very dated.
Very sorry about
It's not even a podcast, is it? Anymore?
Shamak, I think Shamak. I really don't think.
What about Fabianski? Would you
Flapper?
Would you chop his hands off?
Well, if Manoni is as good as his 0-0 draw, you know, apart from the fact that his nose is huge.
Yeah, which, as I've mentioned before, is very good for blocking the ball.
That's true. Where are you two from? Nose City? And so, I don't know. I think Shamak's probably the one who's got to go, especially if Andy Carroll comes in.
Oh, yes. So
I can't see Andy Carroll at Arsenal.
I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. I'll be the only one happy about it. And
you know how long Joe spent doing this?
Not that long. Are you wiping it all out? I think you might be. You're scaring me. Right. Yeah. Oh, you have as well. Right.
Oh, you're going to use it again?
No, no, it's all right. It's all right. Well, I think we'll leave it for now, seeing as I'm starting to make funny noises, which I shouldn't. And anything else you want to plug while you're here?
No, not really.
At all.
Well, if you're interested in JSoccer Magazine, since Joe's here in Japan for a little while, using my office, my Wi-Fi, my shirts.
I wondered what you was going to say then when you started with my wire. You're speechless now. I thought you might be.
And this people, something there.
Yeah.
You guys on the website, drop me a line, alan@jsoccer.com, alan@jsoccer.com, or go straight to the website, www.jsoccer.com. Have a look at the magazine area and just tell me 1, 2, 3 or 4. Maybe you want number 3 with Freddie Lundberg on the front. Just tell me that you want a free magazine because you saw it on the internet, on the worldwide interweb.
Yeah, and that's what it's called.
Send us your email, alan@jsoccer.com. Send me an email and I'll send you a free PDF of the magazine of your choice.
All right, so instead of saying up the Gooners, I'm going to say keep our fingers crossed. Champions League draw coming your way very soon. Till the next time.